Welcome. Okay, I am so glad that you have decided to take the time to watch the recording of this workshop. I totally understand that the evening time and when we run these classes doesn't always work for everybody. So, having this ability to watch it on the recording, also, the beautiful thing about it that way is that there's no Zoom interruptions. It's just literally to the point. So it'll make it easier for your time. Okay. It will be about 40 minutes long. And I will tell you, if you are watching this from your phone, you can turn your phone sideways and then you're going to be able to see things a little bit bigger. Feel free to screenshot anything throughout the presentation and we're going to get right into it. Okay, so 8 months ago, I thought that I was feeling exhausted all the time, just being a part of life, right? I was running on caffeine, pushing through aches, chalking up the mood swings and bloating to just how it feels after kids, after 30, right? As we progress in life, we just start to think of these things as normal. But looking at these pictures, I can confidently say that I feel like I'm aging backwards, okay? Physically, mentally, emotionally. And the funny thing is, that picture from 2022 where I was holding my son, I loved that picture at the time. Okay. But this all started with one realization. What I put into my body actually matters. And I never took care of that before. I never worried about that before. So maybe you're sitting here right now and nodding along because maybe number one, you can't function without coffee. Or even when you are drinking your coffee, you're still hitting that midday slump, right? Maybe your body aches in ways that it never used to, right? You go to the doctor and they're like, oh, it's just a sign of aging. But we don't want to have to deal with that. That doesn't need to be your normal. Maybe you feel off, moody, irritable, maybe perimenopause, maybe menopause is coming, right? You blame your hormones though. Maybe you crash at night, but good deep sleep, you don't even know what that is. Like you're waking up multiple times throughout the night. Maybe you're having trouble even falling asleep. Okay, what if it's your digestion? Maybe you're bloating after you're eating. But again, you're just assuming that all of this is normal. Maybe you're like, well, I'm just not eating great foods. This is normal. And how about stress? Stress never seems to stop, right? But what if I told you that none of this is just the way it is? Like it doesn't have to be that way. What if you could wake up feeling energized and moving throughout your day without discomfort and actually feel good in your own body again? So that's exactly what we're going to talk about through this presentation. And I'm just here to tell you that change truly is possible. Okay. So, chances are, if you're watching this, that you're likely struggling with some of the symptoms here. Maybe it's one of them, maybe it's three of them, maybe it's all of the issues on the screen. That is not unheard of with the people that we work with here, okay? But what our goal is to help you get to the root cause of your symptoms. So, think about which areas you're struggling with as you look at this screen. And one thing that I think you'll feel at ease with by the end of this presentation is that when you focus on your body as a whole, many of these symptoms just start to disappear on their own. And I will share some of those with you as you go through this. All right. So there are two approaches to health. There's the modern approach and there's the natural approach. So the modern approach, modern medicine, right, usually addresses symptoms by using pills and prescriptions. But the problem is that can often cause more symptoms to happen. It's like, okay, you go to the doctor, they say take this, but then it's going to have all these other side effects, and then other things are going to start to not feel good as a result of that. Um, and through this method, oftentimes the root cause, like actually getting to the root, often gets overlooked. So here's a crazy fact that you might not know. $6.5 trillion is spent on global healthcare each year. And in the United States, we spend three times the amount of other countries, but we're twice as sick. And the life expectancy in the United States is actually going down. So that's where we come in with the natural approach. Okay. The natural approach to health addresses the body's needs and focuses on getting to the root cause of the concerns. It uses plant-based approach because our body recognizes plant sources. Plant and animal cells are very similar. So when we take in plant product, our body knows what to do with it. When we take in synthetics and fillers from modern medicine, that's why we have side effects, because our body's like, I don't know what to do with all of this, right? Because it's man made, it's different. So instead of putting a band aid on things like we do with a lot of prescriptions, we're actually getting to the root of what's causing it, which is promoting overall wellness. And because there's no synthetics, there's no fillers, it's going to be safe. You're going to get the benefit, but there's not going to have those side effects. Okay. Little about my story, a little bit more about my story. So I will be the first to tell you that when it comes to health, I knew absolutely nothing. I was a mom of three littles and I was burned out. I was drinking a pot of coffee a day just to function. I was getting daily headaches at like 2, 3 o'clock. My headache would kick in and it would just linger all day. I had no energy. I was unable to focus. I was drinking like no water, literally coffee all day, eating the scraps of my kids' food. I had this hip pain. It started when I was pregnant with my daughter. And then it continued after she was born. And it was so bad that I remember having to like hold on to things when I was walking and carrying my kids because I was afraid I was going to drop them. The other thing I remember having to do, and like at 40 years old, right? I would have to, like, when I would get in my car, I'd have to literally lift my leg into the car because the hip pain was so much that I couldn't just use my leg to lift itself. So if any of this sounds familiar, you that might be why you're here, okay? So for me, I realized that something had to change when it began to affect my mood with my kids. I was stressed all the time, right? I was not feeling good. Um, and I was becoming the mom that I didn't want to be, like having more mom rage moments that I didn't like. So fast forward to deciding to put a little bit of focus on myself. And the bottom line of what I realized is I wasn't feeling like that because I was a mom of three. It was because my body was completely depleted of essential nutrients to function optimally. And it was showing itself through multiple symptoms. So as you can see in the pictures here, the first set of pictures, the one in the pink shirt versus the black shirt, that was a month before supplements and a month after supplements. Crazy difference, right? The reduction in inflammation in my face, it just overall feeling so much better. I was able to cut down on my caffeine intake. So from drinking a pot of coffee a day, gradually, I think it was like 3 weeks in, I realized I'm like, oh, my pot of coffee is lasting me 2 days. Move on a little further, I was like, I'm only drinking 1 cup and it's getting cold before I even finish it. And to now present day, coffee is a treat for me. And I don't like, if you knew how much I drink coffee, and I love coffee. So I never envisioned myself not being a coffee drinker because I love the taste. I love the smell. I love everything about it. Now it's a treat. In fact, oftentimes I will, especially if it's a cold day, I will make my coffee and then I'll mix up some chocolate protein powder in almond milk, add that to my coffee. That becomes the cream and it is so good, but it's also getting protein in. And I'm like, who even am I? Like, I didn't even know or care about protein before. I mean, I knew it existed, but I didn't know enough about it. My headaches were gone. The puffiness in my face was shrinking. I was losing inches all around my body and my hip pain disappeared. The last picture that you see here is my hair. So I had my two youngest 15 months apart. So I lost hair with my middle child, and then I lost it again when I was pregnant with my daughter, and it just wasn't growing back. I literally would look in the mirror and I felt like my whole front of my hairline was like bald. I have hair growth. Like it's filling in. It doesn't look great at this point because now it's like sticking out, but my hair is finally growing back. So take it from me, fueling your body with the essentials can literally change the trajectory of your life in ways that you never thought possible. Okay. So you're going to hear me talk a lot about foundational wellness. So it's important for you to have a visual of what that really means. So take a look at doTERRA's wellness pyramid and you're going to see what I mean. So it all starts in the bottom row with the basics: proper nutrition, staying hydrated, and moving our bodies. These are the building blocks for everything. Okay. Um, like managing stress, cutting out toxins, taking care of yourself. So when we focus on these foundational habits, the nutrition and digestion, and then movement and metabolism, that's what we're going to focus on. We've seen things like inflammation, low energy, digestive issues. It just naturally gets better, and often without having to rely on medications. Our bodies are smart. They know what to do and they know how to heal if we give them what they need to heal. I kind of always relate it to like a nursing mom, right? Your body knows how much milk to produce for the baby based on the baby's responses. Our bodies were made to heal themselves, okay? So we're going to be talking about a few key products that are going to address these foundational levels.
Is a tomato in the grocery store in 2024 the same as a tomato in 1977?
No, just alone by vitamin and mineral content, absolutely not. We spray 280 billion pounds of glyphosate a year on American crops. If we continue down this path of spraying all these chemicals on our food, we will only have 55 years left before we have no more plantable soil, period, end of story.
Is a tomato in the grocery store in 2024 the same as a tomato in 1977?
No, just alone by vitamin and mineral content, absolutely not. We spray 280 billion pounds of glyphosate a year on American crops. If we continue down this path of spraying all these chemicals on our food, we will only have 55 years left before we have no more plantable soil, period, end of story.
Is a tomato in the grocery store in 2024 the same as a tomato in 1977?
No, just alone by vitamin and mineral content, absolutely not. We spray 280 billion pounds of glyphosate a year on American crops. If we continue down this path of spraying all these chemicals on our food, we will only have 55 years left before we have no more plantable soil, period, end of story.
Is a tomato in the grocery store in 2024 the same as a tomato in 1977?
No, just alone by vitamin and mineral content, absolutely not. We spray 280 billion pounds of glyphosate a year on American crops. If we continue down this path of spraying all these chemicals on our food, we will only have 55 years left before we have no more plantable soil, period, end of story.
Is a tomato in the grocery store in 2024 the same as a tomato in 1977?
No, just alone by vitamin and mineral content, absolutely not. We spray 280 billion pounds of glyphosate a year on American crops. If we continue down this path of spraying all these chemicals on our food, we will only have 55 years left before we have no more plantable soil, period, end of story.
Is a tomato in the grocery store in 2024 the same as a tomato in 1977?
No, just alone by vitamin and mineral content, absolutely not. We spray 280 billion pounds of glyphosate a year on American crops. If we continue down this path of spraying all these chemicals on our food, we will only have 55 years left before we have no more plantable soil, period, end of story.
Is a tomato in the grocery store in 2024 the same as a tomato in 1977?
No, just alone by vitamin and mineral content, absolutely not. We spray 280 billion pounds of glyphosate a year on American crops. If we continue down this path of spraying all these chemicals on our food, we will only have 55 years left before we
here. This is our VMG Plus. So what is VMG? It's a daily nutritional drink. So you can see she's adding it to a glass of water there. It has over 90 whole food based ingredients. That is super important. If you want to, so many people come to us like wanting to lose weight thing too. If you want to lose weight, there's actually a doctor that was with dōTERRA for a long time. And he said this, he said, diets are crap. And if you want to lose weight, you need to start eating whole foods. He said, if it grows in the ground, on the ground, swims, walks, or flies, you can eat it, right? Obviously with the, trying to eat the most organic possible and avoid those pesticides. But so this VMG has fruits, vegetables, actually 3 to 4 servings of fruits and vegetables, probiotics, digestive enzymes. Those are designed to help fill in the gaps in our diets, all right? It stands for vitamins, minerals, greens. And then the plus is for dōTERRA's essential oils. Each sachet, like I said, contains 3 to 4 servings of nutrient-dense greens. Plus, it has something called liposomal technology, which I know sounds really fancy, but basically that means that it's going to be more absorbable. So when we talked about the 20 to 30% bioavailable, this is like 540% more bioavailable than other things out there. That is huge. That means your body's going to be able to use it when it's there. And here's another really cool thing. When we bioretention is another word. I'm getting a little bit sciencey here, but bioretention is basically how much stays in your body over time for your body to be able to use it. And they did a study on the VMG and they found that after 8 hours, after the participants had drank their drink, 8 hours later, 91% of those vitamins were still available in their body, which means your body can still be using it. So, like, if you're feeling sick, if you're under the weather, your body needs to be able to grab vitamin C to be able to use. But if you don't have vitamin C available in your body, it can't get better. You're going to stay sick longer, all the things, right? So, the fact that this stays with you, you can drink it once in the morning and those vitamins are with you for the day, which that is really huge. Some other really impressive facts about the VMG is that it's 540% more bioavailable than regular supplements, which I mentioned because of the liposomal technology of including the essential oils in it. Um, it reduced CRP, which is C-reactive protein. It's just a marker that for inflammation, right? Reduced it by 43.5%, which means it can help ease chronic pain. It can boost your energy and it can make you just feel overall better. And here's the part we're all going to love, that in just 6 weeks, it decreased the participants' biological age by 2 years, which is how they're feeling, right? So it's not just about looking youthful, it's about actually feeling that way with better cell health and vitality. So if you are somebody who struggles with energy slumps, bloating, brain fog, the VMG Plus can definitely help. It supports energy, digestion, mental clarity. It's gluten-free, vegan-friendly. And trust me when I say this too, because you're probably looking at it like, ugh, a green drink, if you've ever tried them before. This actually tastes good. It's a pineapple mango flavor. It's not gritty. It's not earthy. It really tastes good. In fact, I had a customer the other day tell me, um, she's like, Carrie, it's so good. I like find myself wanting another one later in the day. So it does taste good. Okay. So the bottom line is it bridges the nutritional gap, supports your gut, fuels your mind and body, and it tastes good. All right, let's talk about my friend Sherry here, okay? Sherry, mom of 8 kids, she suffered from 18 migraines a month prior to switching over to dōTERRA. She was relying on prescriptions to get her through her days for over 13 years. Then she switched to injections because she didn't want to keep taking the prescription. So she switched to injections for 2 years, which did drop the migraines down to like 4 to 5 per month. But still, that's 4 to 5 migraines a month. That's still a lot. That's still not great quality of life. So she started with dōTERRA's foundational wellness in March of 2023, and it forever changed her health. 5 months in, she was able to completely stop her prescriptions and injections. And in the last, I believe it's up to 18 months at this point, she has had only 6 migraines. So from 18 a month to 6 in over a year, that is huge, huge progress. And it's just from giving her body what it needed. Okay, so the VMG is one key piece. That's bringing in the vitamins, eliminating that nutrient deficiency, right? But paired with the VMG is our omegas. They can come in a bundle. Actually, the only reason dōTERRA didn't put the omegas right with the VMG is because they couldn't put that into a powder form. And I will tell you, omegas were one of those things that I like took a very long time to really wrap my head around and understand. And now I love explaining these. Okay. So there's 2 key players here. We have omega-3s and we have omega-6s. We should be in a 1-to-1 ratio in our bodies with omega-3s and 6s. But here's what you need to know. Omega-6s, that's our body's way of handling inflammation. So picture this, you roll your ankle, right? Your ankle becomes inflamed. That's your body's pro-inflammatory response. That has to happen. It helps to isolate the injury so that healing can happen. But the problem is we are so overloaded in omega-6s because it's coming from vegetable oils, corn oils, processed foods, and that tends to dominate our diets. So we tend to be very high in omega-6s. But we need those omega-3s to come in and do the healing, and we don't have enough of them. I told you we should be in a 1-to-1 ratio. We're in a 16-to-1 with the omega-6s being really high. So what does that mean? That means that as Americans, we tend to be in a chronic state of inflammation, swelling, pain, fatigue. It's like being stuck in recovery mode and not bouncing back because we don't have the healers to come in. So unless you're somebody that's eating a lot of fatty fish, flax seeds, chia seeds daily, you are probably missing out on the amount of omega-3s that you need to cool things down. Okay. But omega-3s do actually do a lot more than just help with inflammation. So also, a key thing to remember here is that our bodies cannot produce omega-3s. So we need to get them from our food or from supplements. And experts actually recommend 500 milligrams daily Most of us are only consuming about 90, so far below what we need it to be, right? But it's gonna affect your inflammation, but it's also gonna affect heart health, brain health, and even more. To put it into perspective, what we should be getting is like 2 cans of tuna fish a day. Now, I would also not recommend that because that's going to have very high levels of mercury in it. But just to put it in perspective of the amount of omega 3s that our body needs, okay? So, doTERRA's E Omega Plus fills in that gap. It actually has 900 milligrams of omega 3s per serving, which is exactly what your body needs. Here's the best part. I don't know if you've ever tried taking fish oil pills before and you open the bottle and it like knocks you out because it stinks so much. Then you taste it when you take them. And then if you're somebody who burps, you have fishy burps later too, right? doTERRA actually put wild orange essential oil in these omegas. So you could literally pop them open in your mouth and it tastes like orange. All right. You're not going to get that fishy taste. But because they put the oils in it, just like with the VMG, making it more absorbable, it also helps with cholesterol, boosting energy, supporting healthy inflammation, and you're not going to have the fishy burps. Okay. So omega 3s have incredible benefits for your overall health and well-being. They're a key player in strengthening your heart by lowering blood pressure, reducing triglycerides, keeping your arteries flexible and healthy, all right? For your brain, omega 3s act as a powerful fuel. They enhance your focus and memory, and they also have been found to reduce the risk of Alzheimer's. So huge, right? When it comes to metabolism, omega 3s work wonders. They help to improve insulin sensitivity, they help to regulate blood sugar, and promote healthy weight. When it comes to longevity, higher levels of are linked to a reduced risk of serious diseases like heart disease and cancer. In fact, they actually have studies that have found that higher levels of omega 3s can potentially add up to 5 extra years of your life, so helping you not only live longer but thrive in the process. This is another study that was found that mothers pregnant mothers that had higher levels of omega 3s resulted in having babies with higher IQs, better visual acuity, so just better overall. So the mother was in better shape and the baby born to that mother was in better shape too. A couple other clinical studies that they found that when taking these omegas, a 16.2% drop in resting heart rate. So what that means is your heart's not having to work as hard. 42.2% decrease in blood pressure. That is super hard to achieve too. So that's huge. And then a 30% lower risk for Alzheimer's and dementia. Right? So E Omega Plus definitely gets you all the benefits to help you feel your best for years to come. Okay, so when we look at the pyramid in the top corner again, we just covered nutrition and digestion, right? Or I'm sorry, we covered nutrition. We talked about fueling our bodies, but we also have to address digestion to get that foundational level. So if your digestion is not working properly, your body can't even absorb all the nutrients that you're trying to give it. So whether you're eating healthy or taking good supplements, your body can't absorb it if your digestion is not up to par. Okay. So you've probably heard of your gut being really important, right? Gut health. Your gut is often referred to as your second brain because it impacts everything from your immune system to your mental health. So if your gut is out of whack, you might struggle with things like bloating, brain fog, fatigue, skin issues, even depression and anxiety. So that's where PB Restore comes in. All right. PB Restore, there's actually a doctor that was with doTERRA that he said, if you are human, you should be taking this. He said if he could recommend one doTERRA product for every single person in this world, this would be it. Okay. It contains pre, pro, and postbiotics, and it's designed to support your gut's microbiomes at every level. So I'm sure you've heard of the importance of probiotics, but what you might not know is that many, again, if you go to Walmart, go to Costco, get probiotics, many of them dissolve in the harsh stomach acid. It's too harsh. They dissolve there, which means they never actually even make their way into your intestines. All right. PB Restore is different. It's time released. You can see it's got like the clear part and the green part. So it's time released and it's going to get the right bacteria into the right places. So it's going to dissolve partly in your stomach and then it's going to move into your intestines and dissolve there. So it's going to allow that good bacteria to get where it needs to be. The other thing that it has in it is bacterial phages, which just target the harmful bacteria and support your healthy gut flora. Okay. So with nutrient deficiencies, toxins, additives in our foods, putting our gut under constant stress, PB Restore is absolutely a no-brainer. All right, this is one of my favorite stories to share. This is my customer, Jeannie. Jeannie actually came to me very close to the beginning of my journey with doTERRA. And when she came to me, she had told me that her stomach was such a mess that her doctor told her she would need to be on stomach medication for the rest of her life. Okay. But she was like, I don't want that. I don't want to be on this medication. And so many of us feel that way. So she decided to focus on foundational health and really supporting her gut. We started around the foundational health pieces, PB Restore. We added PB Assist, which is another gut support, and Terrazyme, which is a digestive enzyme. And in just 1.5 months, she was able to completely stop her stomach medications. In addition to that, she lost 8 pounds. That was a bonus she wasn't even expecting. And what she realized after having 2 migraines a week, 5 months in, she's like, wait a minute. I haven't had a migraine in 1.5 months. So Jeannie has had such great results that she has referred multiple other people to me, her mom, her sister, her daughter, her son-in-law, because she truly feels that much better. Okay, so for our last section, we are going to focus on metabolism. So I like to break it up with a little question here. And I want you to think about this and then I will tell you the answer, okay? So think about, what percentage do you think diabetes cases have increased in America since 1960? As we move into metabolism, it's going to be important to understand these things, okay? You might be thinking, a lot of times we get guesses like 60%, 70%. 700% diabetes cases are up since 1960. That's not even that long ago. Okay. Let's do another one. So, how long do you think it takes the average American to consume the same amount of sugar that our ancestors from 200 years ago would consume in a year? How long would that take today? So, it took them 1 year. How long would that take today? The answer, many people will say like 1 trip through the Starbucks line, because we know it's that bad, right? 2 weeks. So we eat the amount of sugar in 2 weeks that our ancestors took 52 weeks to eat, because they were eating the things that grow on the ground, in the ground, walk, swim, and fly, right? That's what our ancestors did. We live a very high processed food life. Okay. So let's dive a little bit more into metabolism. Okay, so doTERRA has a revolutionary MetaPower system that is designed to tackle poor cardiometabolic health. So we're going to highlight our collagen in this workshop specifically, but the entire system is pretty incredible and they all focus on different aspects. Here's a fact you might not know. Only 6.8% of the population in the United States has optimal cardiometabolic health. So I'll save you the math on that. That means that 93% of Americans do not. Our metabolisms simply are not working well for us, which is shortening our lifespan and our health span. So how we feel while we are here. Would you also believe that the average person spends the last 14 years of their life in a state of declining health? I can vouch for that. I watched my grandpa go through it. I watched my grandma go through it. Very different, right? My grandpa was more physical pain, had, the hip replacement, all the whole 9 yards. But that physical pain also then took a toll on his mental health. My grandma, on the other hand, ended up with Alzheimer's, and that is really hard to watch too. So focusing on this piece is really, really important. Okay. So we've talked about nutrition and digestion, but if you are like most customers, you're also probably looking for some metabolic support. So that second level of the pyramid that you see in the corner. So collagen, I know it's a huge buzzword right now, but doTERRA's collagen is truly in a league of its own. While most collagens only include 1 to 2 types, doTERRA's MetaPower Advantage has 9 types of collagen, making it a multitasker for your body. So yes, it supports your hair, skin, and nails. In fact, I told you about my hair finally growing back in, but it also targets your metabolism. It comes in a freeze-dried powder that you activate with water. So you open it up, you pour it in water, you mix it, and it's 12 times more absorbable than most collagens that are out there. Remember, your body can actually use it. Here's the real win though. So it's not just about looking good. doTERRA's collagen helps to support your joints, your connective tissue. So picture filling in the gaps between your bones, making joint-related pain go away. My hip pain, gone, right? Plus brain health, gut health. It helps with key metabolic markers like A1C, blood pressure, and cholesterol. So, but the other place that gets really exciting is that doTERRA put NMN in this, and I'm stuffy, so NMN is hard to say. If you know somebody that's like an extreme athlete, chances are they're taking NMN, because what it does is it helps your body to produce a molecule called NAD+. Now, our bodies naturally produce that, but it peaks at around the age 25. So after that, we still have a lot, but by the time we hit 40 or 50, that amount of NAD plus greatly drops off in our bodies, which makes signs of aging start to creep in, like wrinkles, joint pain, slower recovery, brain fog, and even gray hair. So imagine your cells being like a scratch CD, right? Even though the message is still there, it's just not playing. Like, you put it in the player, it doesn't play. So boosting your NAD plus levels with NMN, it's kind of like buffing out those scratches. It's allowing your cells to repair, which helps fewer wrinkles, sharper focus, stronger joints, better overall energy. So this is why you're going to see some pretty dramatic results on the next slide for the transformations that people have had with this. All right. So right off the bat, you can see Sarah at the top. You may want to screenshot this and zoom in. Normally, I zoom in on this for my workshops. But Sarah is a shining example that consistency is key when it comes to taking supplements, okay? She noticed gradual improvements along the way, but a year down the road, she was shocked to see the comparison. You can see, like, in her face close up, greatly reduced brown pigmentation in her face, and her and like here, like, you can see way less drooping. I look at her arms though, and I truly think she looks 20 years younger looking at the difference in her arms, okay? But that's with consistency, taking it for a year. It matters. Like, keeping your body fueled matters. Below on the left, you see Don, who experienced very drastic increase in his energy, less joint pain, and weight loss. And he said his knee has never felt so good post-surgery ever. The other thing that Don is loving is that he's actually able to keep up with his grandkids easily without having to grunt to get up from the floor. So in his words, he feels rejuvenated. And then on the bottom right, you see a lady who had red spots on her arms. Basically, anytime she bumped herself, the spots would appear. The doctors biopsied and said, well, that's just what happens when you get older. But after using the MetaPower system for just 3 months, the spots were totally gone. And she had other changes over time too. She actually lost 60 pounds. She had thicker hair, her nails were growing in better, and she reduced her A1C. So as you can see, again, when you give your body the support that it needs, it can really do incredible things. Okay. So we've covered foundational wellness, right? The nutrition and digestion, and then the movement. Well, we covered metabolism. Movement, you got to move your body too. Okay. Um, which is all key for everybody's health journey. But we also understand that everybody's health journey is different. And that's why we also have targeted solutions for specific things like weight loss, pain relief, even additional digestive support, just to name a few. So let's start with the reason so many come to us wanting to lose weight, right? It's something that many of us struggle with. And unfortunately, as we get older, it just gets a little bit harder too. But the thing is, with weight loss, the biggest key is not a magic pill. In fact, I know there are some magic pills out there, but they have really, really negative effects long term. So they're not a good solution. The magic key for weight loss is lifestyle shifts and blood sugar regulation. Okay. You have to be willing to change what you're putting into your body if you want to see sustainable weight loss over time, and something that, like, you can keep up with it, right? But then blood sugar regulation. So when you are eating processed foods, like that same doctor that said if it grows in the ground, on the ground, he said if it comes in a can, box, or package, you should avoid it. The processed foods, the heavy sugary meals, those cause blood sugar spikes. And here's the thing, as soon as you spike your blood sugar, you're going to start the roller coaster. And about 2 hours later, you're going to have that craving again. You might even get a little bit shaky when your blood sugar is out of whack. So you start that roller coaster, and it starts and it goes all day long. It leads to energy crashes, cravings, increased fat storage. Okay, so I've had many customers, I will say, myself included, lose weight and inches just from starting with the foundational wellness pieces that we talked about in the beginning. Okay. But if you are looking for additional support, specifically with regulating that blood sugar, MetaPower Assist is a great one. It can help your body process simple carbs more like complex carbs, which means slower and steadier release of glucose into the bloodstream, which avoids those big spikes and crashes that make weight loss so challenging. So with the MetaPower Assist, you take it 15 minutes before. If you're really trying to lose weight, before every meal. A lot of people will take it before their biggest carb meal of the day, and it just really helps to regulate that glucose going in. Okay. Um, so Sarah, the same one that you saw on the last screen, she shared how much of a game changer it was for her. She said the MetaPower Assist gives her more flexibility to enjoy carbs while still making smart choices. In fact, just being in Mexico, she was taking a MetaPower Assist before every meal, and she ate a lot. It was an all-inclusive trip that doTERRA provided. So, you're eating a lot during those trips. She came home and she only gained a half a pound on the entire trip because she was taking that MetaPower Assist before each meal. So it was a huge piece of her healthy weight management, and it's made a big difference for so many others. So if weight loss is part of your goal, this is definitely something you could consider adding in. Okay, Deep Blue Stick. My customers that need this swear by it. We always say Deep Blue is like the gateway to men because it helps with pain and inflammation. All right. It helps ease muscle tension and joint pain. And the great thing is it comes in a stick, so there's no mess. So in fact, one of my customers, she's 85 years old. She actually told me, she said, Carrie, there is no amount of money that somebody could give me to give up that Deep Blue Stick. That's how much she relies on it. I had another customer yesterday that just reached out to me. She's like, I need another Deep Blue Stick. My customer Janice, her sciatica pain was so debilitating. It would start in her buttocks area and go down to the thigh, and it was super, super painful. It affected her going up and down stairs. And she mentioned that having lower back pain in addition to the sciatica pain can be really frustrating. So she actually combined the Deep Blue Stick with birch oil, and her sciatica started feeling so much better. She was walking with less pain and wasn't hurting as much laying in bed. Okay. So Deep Blue Stick, once you've used it, if you need that for pain relief, you will swear by it. Okay. Terrazyme. Many of us need additional digestive support because we experience things like acid reflux, bloating, gas, pooping issues, right? That means we need more digestive support. Terrazyme is made up of whole food enzymes, and it helps break down things like lactose, soy, and gluten that many may struggle to digest. So Rhonda, she is a friend of mine. She actually struggled with acid reflux for 10 years. She had literally tried everything. She had gone to specialists. She did acupuncture, over-the-counter medications, GI doctors, right? And basically they all just kept telling her, just take more over-the-counter medication. She started on Terrazyme, and within a week, her acid reflux was completely gone. So once you're done watching this, the next step will be to get on a wellness consult, a one-on-one wellness consult with your advocate so that they can help you design a plan to get you started based on your specific needs. Because while we all can benefit from foundational wellness, we might need little pieces sprinkled in for our bodies specifically. Okay. So that brings me to why doTERRA. So I'll be honest, when I started looking for supplements for my family, I felt completely overwhelmed, right? You walk into the store, there's shelves of things that you can be taking, so many options. And you're like, where do I even begin? Can I trust what's on the labels? Do I even know how to read a label to know what I need to be getting? So, and the sad part about all of this is that it's really shocking how unregulated the supplement industry actually is. They've done studies and they actually found that over 776 products that are sold on the market were found to contain contaminants. They also tested the 3 leading memory supplements, and 2 of them didn't even include the active ingredients. So this is where doTERRA stood out to me. Their standards are unmatched. I also loved that I had somebody that was able to educate me on this because it is very overwhelming to do it alone. Okay. They are 100% pure. There's no fillers, there's no junk, and every product is third-party tested. Plus, they work with over 40 countries through co-impact sourcing. Love that about them. So they are getting these plant products from the places that those plants thrive best. They are so co-impact sourcing, it's providing jobs, it's lifting these communities out of poverty. And for us, it's ensuring that the ingredients are coming from the best natural environments. All right. So let's be real. Choosing products backed by science and developed by doctors and researchers, which is what happens at doTERRA, that's a no-brainer. Hearing the testimonials tonight, real results from real people, just confirms what I already knew, that this was the best choice for overall wellness. So doTERRA gave me peace of mind for what I was searching for. And I think that once you start, you'll see why people stick around. Like, people don't just try doTERRA, they stick with it because they truly feel that much better. So we are almost finished. Next steps. Here's what you need to know. Okay. We just finished the wellness class. So you have the education piece. The next step, your advocate should have shared a survey with you. There's actually a survey link also in the YouTube description of this video that you can click on. Really important that you fill that out, because that's going to help your advocate know where are you specifically struggling, so that we can make recommendations according to your needs. All right. From there, after filling out the survey, we will meet with you on a wellness consult so that we can recommend things specifically designed for your needs. Okay. So look out for those things, and back up. Hang on one second. Okay. Lost my train of thought. But there's just a few more slides. I'm going to walk you into that in the next one to see if this is another piece that you want to stick around for. Okay, we are almost finished. And another thing that I want you to be sure to ask your advocate for is a link to our Facebook group, our wellness community. It's an incredible place where you can go and you can search ailments that you're dealing with, right? Like, maybe you're dealing with, I don't know, bronchitis, whatever. You can go into the Facebook community, you can search bronchitis, and you will find testimonials of people that have had success with relieving those symptoms using either supplements or essential oils. So ask your advocate for the Facebook group link, and it's a great resource. All right. And then before we wrap up, I do want to share a brief extra 15-minute session about the business side of doTERRA. So on the slide in front of you, you see 3 different wellness advocates, each at their different stage in their journey. One simply uses her business to cover the cost of her supplements. Another is able to not only pay for her wellness products, but also help with household expenses like groceries, electric, gas, right? And then the third has built her business to the point where she has fully replaced her income. The beauty of it is that each person gets to decide where they want to be. So whether it's staying at a comfortable level or continuing to grow, you're going to hear, if you stick around for this, you're going to hear some unforgettable testimonials that show just how life-changing the opportunity piece with doTERRA can be. I truly see it as a gift. So if somebody hadn't taken the time to explain it to me, my family would have missed out on life-changing health benefits and financial freedom. So since starting on this journey, both my husband and I feel better every day. We've made lifestyle changes for our kids thanks to being immersed in the nutrition and wellness with the doTERRA family. And as a mom, having natural solutions at my fingertips, like remedies for pink eye, ear infections, other common ailments, it's been priceless. We've reduced the missing work, missing school days for doctor's appointments, antibiotics, right? And I feel so empowered knowing that my kids are growing up with these same tools, which is setting them up for generational health that can be passed on. How amazing. So if you stick around for this piece, I'd love for you to hear the rest of it. But if this isn't your thing, if you're not willing to hear that, totally understand. You can pause the video at this point, fill out the survey, reach out to your advocate, and they will set up the next step with you. Okay. So in doTERRA, you will often hear people talk about building a pipeline. So let me tell you where this idea comes from. So there was a woman who earned her living by carrying heavy buckets of water from a river back to her village every day. It was hard work, but it paid her a little each time. Whenever she needed extra money, she'd simply work longer hours, hauling even more buckets back and forth, back and forth. But as the years went by, hauling these buckets began to take more of a toll on her. She was exhausted and wanted something better, a way to support herself without the constant strain and endless work hours. So she had a light bulb moment and she thought, what if I build a pipeline from the river to my village? She knew it would take extra effort on top of her regular work, but she began to dig and lay a foundation. And after a few years, her hard work paid off. With the pipeline complete, she could now turn on the water whenever she needed it. No more hauling buckets. Her village had a steady supply of water, and she had security and freedom. So in many jobs, we are often hauling buckets. We're getting paid only when we're actively working. But with doTERRA, you are building that pipeline. It's a business that with time and dedication can continue to provide income even when you take time for yourself. So it's all about creating a future where your time is spent living, not just working. And that is what we all desire, right? Okay. So I'm going to be real with you. I was a skeptic at first, and I was extremely hesitant to make the leap to doTERRA because I didn't know if people would even care about improving their health. I told you a couple times, I have not taken care of myself up until this point. So before I joined doTERRA, I didn't worry about my health. I was so focused on just taking care of everyone else and getting through the days with blinders on that I honestly, I was like, do people even care about that? Right? I was living my life with blinders on. But I realize it is very different, and almost everyone I talk to is dealing with some kind of health struggle. People are in pain, they're exhausted, they're struggling with digestion, and they want real solutions. They need answers. And here are just a few stats that tell this story, okay? 70% of Americans have a metabolic disorder. Half of the kids, this is really sad to me, half of the kids in the US are overweight. And 70% of young people can't qualify for the military because of health concerns. So this is where doTERRA steps in. They have created products specifically designed to address these challenges, and they actually work. You heard some testimonials tonight about the liver detox in particular, but people don't just try doTERRA, they stick with it. Our customer retention rate is 75%, which is a number that is unheard of in the industry, where the average is only 12 to 18%. So this shows just how much people value and rely on doTERRA. So, with prices rising, the cost of living going up, many families are looking for ways to earn a little extra. doTERRA offers you a way to do that while staying healthy and being a part of a team that is with you every step of the way. So, if you're wondering how the pay works, doTERRA stands out there too. Their payout is the highest in the direct sales world, 48% compared to an average of 40% or less. This company is transparent about their earning potential, which is something that I really respect. So if you've been curious about how to earn, live better, and work with purpose, I want to chat with you, okay? Because this might just be the thing that you are looking for. All right. So take a look at this chart. You're going to see how doTERRA compares to other companies. It is clear that the income potential here really stands out. So I know money isn't everything, but let's be honest, financial stress also takes a toll on families. We see it every day, especially in today's economy, where the cost of living keeps rising and the strain that it can place on marriages, on our ability to be fully present with our kids, on our peace of mind. It's huge. For a lot of us, reducing that stress would mean more stability, less worry, and the freedom to focus on what really matters. So that is why so many people join doTERRA, not only to improve their health, but to create a more secure future. So if you're wondering, could this actually work for me? You're not alone. Let's hear from a few people who have seen real transformations in their lives, financially and beyond, thanks to doTERRA. So we're going to start with Susanna's story, a legacy pipeline that keeps giving. Susanna has been building her doTERRA business for over 10 years, and her journey has created a true pipeline of support for her family, even across generations. Years ago, Susanna's mom also started her own doTERRA business, and she was working on it for about 4.5 years before she passed away. Because doTERRA is a legacy company, her mom's business didn't stop when she did. Susanna's dad was able to inherit her mom's business, his wife's business, and he's been receiving $7,000 to $9,000 every month, totaling around $100,000 a year. So Susanna's family has a steady pipeline flowing from her mom's work, and that's one thing that brings security even in her mom's absence. Okay. Megan, when Megan's husband was diagnosed with leukemia, she was actually able to stay by his side thanks to the strong foundation she had built in her doTERRA business. Her team kept growing, and she now earns about $5,500 a month. After her husband completed his treatments, she returned to a business that stayed strong even in her absence, supported by her team and reliable systems. Okay, then we get to my story. I came to doTERRA after years in a business that left me feeling like every month I was starting from scratch. I felt like I was constantly carrying buckets, pouring in the hours, but never seeing lasting progress. It's like, okay, new month, start over, right? So much so that my family went on a trip to Florida this past May. I took my work with me so that I could run an event while I was in Florida with my family. And like, I shouldn't have to do that, but knowing what I wanted my paycheck to be, that's what I felt like I had to do. Okay. Um, so the grind left me feeling burnout and ready for something different. With doTERRA, I have finally found a true pipeline business. I joined a team with proven systems that allow me to work smarter and build something sustainable. Plus, a great thing for me, I didn't need a health background. Okay. I learned and grew from the support of my leader, other health coaches, and trainings that I was able to immerse myself in. And now I'm not just chasing short term results. I am building a future that feels steady, meaningful, and exciting. And then we have Rhonda. Rhonda in the bottom right corner here. She started her doTERRA business 18 months ago, which allowed her to give her college age son Isaac the gift of tuition assistance without any loans or out of pocket expenses for her. Um, every parent's dream, right? So, like many students, Isaac's busy schedule doesn't leave much room for balanced meals, so he relies on doTERRA supplements to stay energized. Since he's a regular customer, Rhonda was able to add him to her team, and he now earns over $500 a month. Right? So, this income comes from the pipeline that she has built and provides him with support while he focuses on his college career. So, each of these stories shows how doTERRA can create lasting change for families, providing income that goes beyond just making money. This is about real freedom and security, something that anyone can work toward with the right support. So, think about, would this be beneficial for your family? And last, I absolutely love this quote by Stephen Covey. If the ladder is not leaning against the right wall, every step we take just gets us to the wrong place faster. That hits home, doesn't it? So it's not just about working hard, it's about making sure that the hard work that we're doing is aligned with the right company and the right vision. Like, where are you going, right? So I'm going to ask you this. If you don't make a change, where will you be in 1 year? Where will you be in 5 years? Maybe it's time to consider leaning your ladder against a different wall. So, as we wrap up, I want to emphasize that what I've shared today is just a quick glimpse into this incredible opportunity. If you're curious, if you want to know more, talk to your advocate. We do a learn more call every single month where we dive deeper into the business side of doTERRA. So, talk to your advocate. They can tell you the date and the time of the next learn more. Or if you're like, I want to know this information now, we also have the recording of the previous Learn More that we did that your advocate can get to you. Okay. Um, so thank you for being here with us today for the liver detox. If you made it this far for the business side, and keep an eye out on a message from your advocate. And we can't wait to continue with you. And hopefully you will join us in this liver detox coming up next month. And that's a wrap. Thank you for sticking around until the end, and even hearing that little business portion. So what you need to do now is just go to the YouTube description of this video, find the survey link, fill that out, and then your advocate will be in touch with you. If I'm your advocate, I'll be in touch with you. Or if you're watching this video and you don't have an advocate, then I would be happy to connect with you and help you get you going on your way.